Okay, this is my Juki. It's a LU-562 walking foot industrial sewing machine. This particular one is completely set up for beginners. It's really easy to use. The biggest thing that really helps it a lot is I have a speed reducer that I've made for it. It's got a 2 and a 6-inch pulley, so it ends up making it a 3-to-1 ratio, geared down to run a lot slower, like a third of the speed. And I also did a few other things too to make it a little bit more manageable for people that want to start on it. My girlfriend's been using it. She wouldn't jump on any of my other machines because it was just too intimidating, but she saw this one and it's really easy to go ahead and use and manage. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what it can do and how fast it goes, how slow it can go, how thick it can sew. I'm going to start off sewing some of this belt leather that I have. This is what she was practicing on. You can see some of the holes she was running through it. I just cleaned off all the stitching and everything off it. So this is 1/8 of an inch thick. So the first stitch I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it on itself, go ahead and sew it, so it'll be 1/4 of an inch thick total. Right there you go. Here, let me get a tape measure. I'll show you that that is actually 1/4 of an inch. Right there you go. Holding it, if you can see that, it's about 1/4 of an inch. Let's go ahead and throw it in there. Pop it down. And my tails. Yeah, it's really nice and easy to go ahead and use with the speed reducer on it. So you can see how nice and slow it can go. And it just feeds itself. It's really easy. There you go, and you can go faster. That's the full speed right there. Has reverse. Yeah, like all the 562s do. They all have reverse, so it really makes it a lot easier than having to spin it around in the beginning and end of every stitch you do. You just pull this lever on the side over here and it just goes in reverse. Really easy for you. Let me go ahead and show you how it's stitched. Yeah, all the machines will go ahead, the industrial sewing machines will sew all these thick leather or thick materials, but with the walking feet you can see how nice and even all those stitches are. So that's because it's feeding it at a certain rate. Really controllable. There you saw I wasn't even feeding it. The machine was just doing it. Took my hands off it. It's actually better if you just let the machine just go ahead and do its job rather than trying to go ahead and force it to do things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and fold this on top of itself. The machine is actually rated for 3/8 of an inch. That's what the 562 is rated for, and that would be that. That's what they say what the maximum that you should be sewing with. I spent about 6 months going ahead and rebuilding this one. I got it completely tuned and adjusted the way how I like it, and it's able to actually do 1/2 inch, which would be 4 of these. Let me get that tape measure again for you. So there you go. It's actually showing a little thicker, but that's just because it's not compressed a bit, but it is about 1/2 inch. It's not thicker than 1/2 inch. I've been messing around with it before, but it comes out to about 1/2 inch. Let's go ahead and get this under there. Grab the tails. And you'll see how easy it is. I won't even feed it with my hands again. I'll just leave my hands out here and just step down on it, and it just sews really nice and easy. 1/2 inch of leather. Just real nice and easy. It can go faster. Reverse. Everything works the same. Doesn't even know how thick the material is. Doesn't even know that it really isn't rated for that. It's kind of thick to go ahead and be going through that. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. So there's all the stitches. You can see even at the 1/2 inch by itself without even helping it, it just sews front and back. So it's not really recommended to do it. It's not really going to hurt it. It does have a clutch built into it, a safety clutch, to where if it did get into a bind or anything, if something did go out out of alignment, and say the needle bar went ahead and hit something solid, instead of doing damage like bending anything on here, it'll just pop that clutch. And you don't have to go ahead and repair anything or something. You just push this button right here, roll it back a few times, and it goes right back in gear and you're ready to go again. Yeah, I get a lot of people that they ask me a lot of things. They want to do upholstery work on it. They want to go ahead and like sew tarps where on the end you have the plastic pieces to go ahead and with the eyes on it to go ahead and run your tie downs or whatever. And they're wondering if it'll sew through anything other than just regular fabric or leather or something, and they'll want to know if it'll do plastic. I don't have the thicker plastics on me right now, but I do have this. It's a piece of sheet metal that I had left over from Home Depot, some scraps that I had. It's 10/1000ths of an inch. I'll go ahead and I got a set of dial calipers. I'll go ahead and zero it out, put it on there, and you can see it's showing a lot thicker than it is. But here, let me go over here. I think it has a little bend in it. There you go. So it's 10/1000ths of an inch. It's sheet metal, so it's a lot harder to do than plastic. We'll go ahead and run it through. Only thing is with the sheet metal, you won't have the problem with the plastic, but the sheet metal, it's a lot slippery. So the feed dogs on the bottom won't really grab it. So I go ahead and I'll just throw some material under it, a piece of this leather that we just sewed through. And I'll go ahead and just run it right through here. Grab this tail. I don't have any fingernails, but sit right there. Sit on it. And it's not going to sew through the sheet metal. It's going to punch the holes on it. So because once it goes through, it's going to create a burr. And then when its needle comes back up, and it tries to tighten up the stitch, because it's a locking stitch, the burr is going to go ahead and cut the top thread. But it will go ahead and punch through this. That's the main concern, that people don't think that it'll go ahead and punch through all these materials, and it won't have a problem doing it. I'll go ahead and show you. See, here's my top thread. It just cut it. But yeah, there you go. Just went ahead and made all that. Here's the burrs I was talking about. You can see it. And that's why I cut that top thread. So yeah, it's pretty thick too. Trying to straighten it out a bit. There you go. Okay, it'll also do masonite too. I got some wood. I've done plywood with it. I'm all out of some plywood. I do have some 1/4 inch masonite. I'll go ahead and show you. Let me go ahead and grab a piece. I'll be right back. Okay, I couldn't find any of my masonite, but I did find something a little harder. It's this MDF, this medium density fiberboard, and it's the same thing, 1/4 inch, 2 pieces of 1/4 inch. I'll go ahead and put them together. I can't go any thicker than that because it won't fit under the presser foot. But so it'll be a total of a 1/2 inch of MDF. So go ahead and put this up. Set it right up on the edge, or actually you want to go this way, we can do a longer stitch. There we go. Okay, this, it takes a little bit more momentum to get it going. So, and it's really loud. So I just got it, you just step on it. I have it to where the belt slip a little bit. Like I said, I have it set up for beginners for my girlfriend. So usually what you want to do is you want to end up holding this wheel right over here. You go ahead and you put your hand on this wheel, and you do that when you're sewing, when you first start off, to get it slipping when you start your stitches. So that way you can go ahead and you'll slip the belt. You'll give it a little bit more friction, and then the belt will slip, so that way you can feed it that way. It gives a lot more feel, and that's usually how you do it whenever you're going to go ahead and when you're really concerned about the way how your stitch is going to look, you'll end up doing that. So the belt's a little slippery, so I just got to stomp on it. We'll go ahead and try it. Yeah, So I gotta help it a little. Here we go. Half inch of MDF. Get it out of there. There it is. So you can do carpentry with it too. Well, that's it. Just sewed it together. Sewed it really nicely too. You can see on the top, nice and even. If you have any questions about it, just go ahead and give me a call. I'm selling it. The only reason why I'm selling it is because I have another Juki. I have actually about 5 machines right now, but of all the machines that I've gone through, I go ahead and I rebuild these just for the fun of it, and I usually want to keep one for myself to use, and so I've had a chance to try out a whole lot. My favorite was a FOF. The FOF machines are really nice and smooth. The insides are totally different from, this is really the same as a console. The 225s and 226s, the 225s don't have reverse, but it's all the same. The same thing as the Singer 111 series. They're all pretty much based off the same thing. They run this pretty much the same way. There's little changes through them. The FOFs are totally different. They're really smooth. I really like that until I got this Juki. This Juki is just incredible. The power that it has, and just it's so easy, and it's just so forgiving. The only reason why I'm getting rid of it is I have another Juki. It's a Juki LU-563. Same thing as this. Everything is all the same. The only thing difference is that the bobbin in here is just a little bigger, so I can hold more thread, and gives me an excuse to go ahead and tear that one all down. So I got that one all painted up, and it's just curing right now, so I can go ahead and start assembling it. But I'm running out of room, so I need to get rid of this. But give me a call if you have any questions, and if you want to come down and throw some material at it, you're more than welcome to go ahead and see what you got and see if it'll do it. Okay, thanks.